at the back and the sides of the auditorium. There are signs to guide you to that. The reason for this is we have another concert coming in at 6:30, and they will be arriving to our main lobby. Lastly, if you have a musician that is both in the beginner band or beginner orchestra and Apple Crate, please know that Apple Crate will be the first ensemble to perform at 6:30. And your musician will be in the cafeteria after the Apple Crate performance should you need to pick them up at that time. We know it's a lengthier time for you. However, they are also more than welcome to stay for the entirety of both concerts. That's all that I have, and at this time I'd like to welcome Mrs. Yantif and her beginner band.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are so excited to introduce the beginner band. They have been working so hard since we started lessons at the beginning of this year, and we are so excited to take you through the journey of their progress. We're going to start things off today by taking you back to late September when your child brought home their instrument, and they were so very excited. When they first walked into their first lesson, they did not know how to make sound, they did not know how to hold their instrument, and those were the first things that we learned. So we're going to start by introducing each instrument just by the first sounds that they learned to make at their very first lesson, which hopefully you heard them practicing as they took their instrument home. So we're going to start by introducing our beginner flutes, who are going to take their head joint off of their flutes and show us the very first sounds they made back in the month of September on just their head joint. Ready, flutes? And then we'll bring it over to the clarinets and saxophones. Now, if you had a clarinet or saxophone player at your house, you probably already know this, but the first sounds on beginner clarinet and beginner saxophone can be quite loud. But it's also pretty complicated because they need to learn how to put their reed on their mouthpiece, put the ligature on, which can be really, really hard, and then create their first sounds. So brace yourself, because this is going to be a little loud. Clarinet and saxophone on just your mouthpieces. Yes, I told you. Then we take it to the brass section with our French horns and our trumpets, who first learned to make their first sounds by learning something called buzzing on a mouthpiece, which sounds kind of funny. If you heard that sound coming from your house somewhere, you were probably a little puzzled by what could possibly be making that strange sound. Could I hear the French horns and the trumpets, please? And we also have trombones in the brass section, who also have made their first sounds learning how to buzz with a more relaxed buzz than the trumpets and the French horns. Can I hear the trombones? And finally, we have the percussionists, who learned at their very first lesson how to hold their drumsticks and how to make some sounds on their practice pads, which if you have a percussionist in your house, you may have been very grateful to hear that they were coming home with a practice pad, which didn't make so much sounds. but they've done an awesome job learning how to make their first sounds. We also have some percussionists in the back playing some other percussion instruments as well, because as a percussionist, you learn lots of different instruments. The percussion section. And after we learned our first sounds, we went on to learn our first notes. And the band is going to play the very first notes that they all learned. Band members, remember we are looking at number 1 in the book, playing a whole note. How many beats are in a whole note, band? 4! Here we go, your first note. And after they learned their first note and they played whole note after whole note, we moved on to learning about quarter notes and rests and how to separate each note as we play using something called tonguing. So now we're going to play for you our first official song called 4 in a Row. 4 in a Row uses quarter notes, and it also uses 3 notes that they learned within the first couple of months of playing. So here is 4 in a Row. And as we traveled past just plain old quarter notes, the next thing the band members learned was how to play songs using quarter notes and whole notes. So our next piece for you will be called Take 5. And I always tell the students that Take 5 is actually one of the hardest in the book at the very beginning, because up until now they've had whole rests, so 4 beats of silence, in order to figure out what note was coming next. And in this piece, we lose that ability to have time to look to see what's coming next. So this piece is actually pretty challenging in the grand scheme of a beginner band player, and they've done an awesome job learning it. Here is Take 5 when our percussionists are ready. Take 5. After band members were able to master the idea of being able to play different notes in a piece without having a whole rest in between to figure out what was coming next, we then added changing notes every beat. So in number 13, or what we call the 3-note samba, students will at the very end of the piece change to a different note on every beat of the piece, which is very challenging because they need to be able to look at the note, figure out, okay, what is this note? Now, what do my fingers need to do? What does my hands need to do? What does my air need to do in order to create that note? There's a lot going on all at one time. So here is 3-note samba. as you may be able to tell, our percussionists in the back, as we go through this concert, have a different instrument that they play every single song. So as I mentioned earlier, percussionists actually learn lots of different instruments. So we have people playing snare drum, we have people playing bass drum, staccato, guiro, triangle. We have lots going on back there. They're doing a really awesome job figuring out where they need to be and getting there quickly. Thank you, percussionists. Our next piece we'll play for you is a piece called Moving On Down, and Moving On Down introduced 2 new notes for every wind player, and they are in general 2 notes that are lower than they played beforehand. So in many cases, students needed to make changes in their embouchure, or the way that they, like we call that the band face, the way that they hold their face and shape their face to play, in order to make these 2 notes, to be able to play these 2 notes successfully. So here's Moving On Down. Our next piece is one that I'm sure that many of you will recognize. And band, take a look at the audience right now. I'm going to have them raise their hand. Raise your hand if you ever played the song Hot Cross Buns when you were an elementary student. Oh, look at all those hands, bands. You see them all? Hot Cross Buns is kind of a rite of passage as an elementary music student. And the students are doing a great job with this one. This is the first time the band will have played half notes before, so notes that get 2 beats of sound. Here is Hot Cross Buns. We're going to end this portion of this evening's concert with a piece that may be a familiar tune to Au Clair de la Lune. Before we finish up our last piece, I just want to say how proud I am of the students that are sitting on the stage. What I told them in our first rehearsal on Friday when we were met for the first time all together is they did something incredibly hard this year. Learning to play an instrument is incredibly hard, and no matter where they are with their instrument at this time, we are so proud of all of their hard work. They're so proud of the fact that they are up here, sitting up on stage, performing, rocking it. So thank you so much, band. You are rocking it. And also, just in case you weren't aware, we have only rehearsed twice all together as a group. There are close to 80 students on the stage right now. We worked together on Friday morning and Tuesday morning, and that is it all together as a group. They're doing a really great job following a conductor, listening to the percussion and each other as we play. Really, really great work. So here is Au Clair de la Lune.
doing, Sue?
Hello? Could I have everyone's attention, please? At this time, our band students are taking a seat, and then our orchestra will be coming on for the second part of our concert. So at this time, we just ask our families to please take your seat as our students take their seat. Thank you.
set, but we are ready to roll. These are our beginning string players, and just like with the band, we're going to walk you through the journey from the beginning of the year to where they are now, and give you a kind of more of an informant of all the different things that they've learned. So their very first lesson, we learned the basics of holding the instrument, what the open strings are, and we learned 3 open string songs that we're going to play for you now. Our curriculum has some play-along tracks that kind of make it a little bit more fun. The first song is one note, so it can get kind of boring if you're just playing one note over and over again, so you're going to hear things kind of beefed up a little bit with some play-along tracks. But really listen to their skills of distinguishing between the open strings and playing at the correct time. These are 3 open string songs.
Come in the back, Michael. Back by the lobby.
Just from hearing it, you couldn't know this, but they were just playing some music that isn't really written the way music is written. It was just floating notes with letter names in it. So as musicians, we want to make sure they understand how to read music too. And so in week 2, we did an activity called The Amazing World of Note Reading. So we're taking the same notes that we just played for you in the other pieces, but now we're reading them on the staff, and that makes things a little bit more challenging. So here are 3 open string tunes that are on the staff. So they're now demonstrating reading music. that all together to play a song. So this is a song called The Hamster Who Dreamt He Could Fly. It uses those open strings still, but this is 3 lines of music, which is a significant amount to play. So that was a big milestone for us to be able to read and follow along with that much music. So here's The Hamster Who Dreamt He Could Fly. Lesson 4, we didn't learn any new music, but we added a very important and challenging skill, which is using the bow. And it might look like it's easy to just kind of grab it and play, but there actually is a very specific way to hold the bow. In fact, we spend about 20 minutes just practicing where all of our fingers need to go, and it takes several weeks, if not months, to really develop a good bow hold. Many students are there, and some are still working very hard to achieve that beautiful bow hold. And so we kept The Hamster Who Dreamt He Could Fly, but this time we played it with the bow. And we're going to play it for you now with the bow to demonstrate the different sound that you get using the bow as opposed to doing it plucking or pizzicato. For the next couple of lessons, we kept the same skills because there's a lot of hard things that we learned in just 4 lessons. And we learned some new tunes that combined the note reading and the open strings and the bow hold. We did an activity called Lord of the Strings, and we've selected 3 of those to play for you tonight. So here is Lord of the Strings. after 6 lessons of only playing open strings, we decided that would be very boring if they spent the next 9+ years just playing 4 notes. And so we started to learn how to make new notes on our instrument, which means we had to start putting fingers down on the string. So our new note is a note called E on the D string, which you get by putting your first finger on the first sticker on the D string. And so we're going to play a tune now called Sword of the Samurai that uses that new note E. To end the winter concert with. Looking ahead, we actually just in our very next lesson are going to be learning 2 new notes, putting fingers down. So there's a lot of things that we have coming up for these students that you'll see in the May concert, but hopefully you can see all the hard work that they've put in so far. And thank you to the parents for your support at home in helping them get this far. So here is Winter Daydreams.
that, buddy?
I'm going to do your hair and makeup. Oh, that's right. You said it had to be a special way. So if we're doing your makeup, we're going to do your hair. You doing your nails? I'm asking you that. We're doing your hair and makeup. Why? You said they all have to be the same. Either. I'm like, oh, what about reaching over thing? I didn't know who it was either. Madison's dad. How did you tell? got here.
They're over there running around, trying to turn all the lights on. I said, what are you doing? He goes, Mississippi just brought us in the lights on. I said over to the high school, not here. The radio's over there out there. I was going on.
You dropped it?
Shouldn't have to.
So do you drop it?
I said, how do you turn the lights on? There. I said, in front of the freaking, in front of the district. Whoa. You run a freaking place to take care of school, you don't know where the goddamn lights are? You don't yell at me, he said, well, it's our first district. You're the one that does the district, you should know the light switch. I'll call Paul. I'll call Paul. Come turn the lights on. Boy, he's getting on me. He's so fucking weak. Why are you trying to I thought Thomas was starting running neck to neck with Thomas. I thought Thomas was back. He's running neck to neck with Thomas.
Yeah, some of them already fell off. They didn't last very long.
So you lost it in the yard somewhere
Around
between
here.
the school.
Yep.
Do we want to know who it is?
I don't care. I got a melon.
They don't know.
They've got it. That's going to shame me later. Turn my throat catch now.
I had a bad day today.
You did?
I had a bad day today.
Fishing or fall down?
I fell down.
Only caught 40?
I
That's
was
it?
about 50.
Rick pulled the tail. Mark Earl pulled the tail from the mom. Started throwing it in the plant.
We're going Saturday. I'm going Friday to see if you get it.
Rick pulled the tail. When she went yesterday, I had the baby 5 weeks.
Oh,
It's going to be a half hour long.
I think I'm not going where he went, but I can.
30 minutes.
I got nicer Christian than this one.
oh, it's Shazy Lake, catching smelt, perch, same gun, right together.
Need to bring a snack and water when you
All
tomorrow.
right, I'll bring your tip up with it.
You're practicing to
I couldn't believe it. I looked them up. How many tip ups on Lake Champlain? 15 per person. I said,
You're gonna be in the
back
crowd
in
for
30 freaking tip ups are running around.
Tomorrow we have practice from 3:30 to 6:30 at the crack box.
Never said he caught a freaking like 28
Wear
inch one.
black shirt. and
Somewhere he went.
Black shirt. Yep. That's what she just said. That's what she just said.
12 and lost 4.
That's what she said.
4 broke the fucking line.
Dave. And Kevin's pulling the fish in today. He said he'll have it out. Down the water. In Colorado. You know, back in Wayside.
That's Logan. That's Logan's going.
Oh yeah. We gotta do me. Check the house out.
Where'd you get lunch with?
Go to the district.
Somebody might be hungry, they might snag it.
Only thing left in there is applesauce, beers,
What about
fruit
you, Keith?
snacks. Huh?
What about you, Keith?
Told him
You took everything important?
don't tell Walt.
Wait, where's the
Tell Walt,
district?
tell him.
Right here.
Come on back.
He's gonna?
Don't go fucking Christian.
Oh, why?
You won't sell it back?
No.
Oh.
Go back to custom. Go back to custom. Usually don't go Christian.
Here's a hard one.
One Christian you kept back to dinner. Last week you went fishing with Rick, and I got a mail call. Only had for one. Sorry, there again.
Where you going? Where? I don't know where Kevin wants to go Saturday. He wants to go somewhere.
Don't get enough there, somehow you end up
She bought, I grabbed that chair, right? Another chair. I was like that, put it around and took me right off the feet. Put it on top, I think, and pop. And just like that in the case. She jumped. Right? She goes, oh, I'll take you right up. So I didn't see it. He's going to use it for a fish fry anyway. Really? I'm a cold at food.
Did you have PJs?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully you're going to be on Friday. That's it, Friday off. Sunday's supposed to be 35.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the subs was in this year.
New trailer rescue? We need a Saturday, Sunday afternoon. Drive down the road and pick up 2 chests over. Gonna give me 2 of them. For free. You decide one or the other.
Why you missing for long?
left.
They're gonna steal your food. They're gonna go knock your door. Other door.
Put the big muddy hard on you out while you're fishing. You ever heard of them?
Takes a minute for everybody to get
Step
settled.
into the slide.
Good evening, Superintendent Storms, members of the Board of Education, our families, and our musicians. I'm Mrs. Sexton, proud principal of Peru Intermediate, and I'd like to welcome everyone to our winter concert. Our musicians have been working very hard in preparation for their first concert of the year. And for some of them, it's their first concert ever, so congratulations to them. I would like to take a moment and recognize our music faculty, Mrs. Yontif, Miss Emily Allen, Miss Sayward, Miss Abigail Allen, and Mr. Miro. Each has played a critical role in the development of our musicians, and I appreciate the dedication and enthusiasm that each brings to our music program. My thanks to you all. I would also like to recognize our media club and their advisor, Mr. Mitchell, and also Mr. Craig, for their work with our sound, lights, and videography this evening. There are a few procedural announcements. First, please just take note that we do have exits in the rear and the sides of the auditorium. I ask that all cell phones please be switched to a silent mode. As you saw, and I appreciate your understanding with, we are trying a new concert format to help our students' developmental level and the needs of our families. We do expect that this concert will be approximately a half an hour to 45 minutes in length. Given this, we do ask that our families remain through the entirety of the concert. Once the students have completed their last piece and the concert comes to a close, musicians may be picked with the last ensemble they performed with. The apple crate will be in the high school cafeteria, and we will have faculty in place to assist with that. Band in the band room and orchestra in the orchestra room. At this time, I'd like to welcome Miss Sayward and Miss Abigail Allen with their apple crate chorus.
our concert and supporting the students on their hard work. The students have been working since September on these songs, and they have been working so hard. The first song we just sang was Dansi na Kuimba, which means dance and sing in Swahili, so they learned a little bit of a different language. Something we have been working really hard on is singing in 2 different parts. So in that song you heard, they were not singing the same words at the same time all the time, which is very challenging, but they have been doing an awesome job of that. This next song that we're going to sing is called Snow on Snow, and you're going to hear the 2 different parts actually enter at different times.
Floating high above the trees, like a feather
have one more song for you this evening. I just want to acknowledge the soloists who just sang in our small group. They did a lovely job. Next, we will have one soloist. This is our last song, Hakuna Matata, and this has been a favorite since we started learning it, so I hope you will enjoy it as well.
Hakuna Matata. What wonderful praise. Hakuna Matata. Ain't no passing craze. Ain't no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Mine's thir-
No.
My oldest one's
We're
13.
getting old.
Mine's hey, remember all the shit we used to do?
Yeah, all the trouble that you used to get into.
Not me. We used to head up in the corner.
You and Junior get in trouble all the time.
They covered it up though. I noticed that tonight.
Yeah, this one's gonna be 13.
Yeah, crazy how fast they grow
I'll go
up.
get you some stuff.
It's amazing how fast they grow.
Yeah.
Gotta go collect our kids.
Yeah, you too. Lots of room.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I would like to just introduce the elementary band. For those of you who were here at the 5:30 concert hearing the beginner band, the students that you are seeing in front of you have been playing their instrument for 2 years now, or a year and a half, and as you can hear, they have made some amazing progress. They've worked really hard to prepare 3 pieces for you this evening. The elementary band rehearses once a week from 7:30 until 9 a.m. so they get to school early 1 day a week. And the students that are up here have shown an amazing amount of dedication, and I've really enjoyed working with them this fall to prepare this music. The first piece we played for you is a piece called Alien Invasion, and that featured our trombone section as the aliens. If you heard that sound, that was the aliens coming. And that sound is a glissando, and it is the sound that makes the trombones famous. They're the only instrument that can do that sound. So that was a nice job, trombones. Our next piece for you is a piece called Attack of the Garden Gnomes. And we have some, we'll call it non-traditional music making in this piece. Just be prepared for something a little different and surprising. Just, you'll understand when it happens. Attack of Garden Gnomes. The main differences that you may hear if you attended the 5:30 concert is the elementary band is playing music that is much more complicated than the music that they learned last year. And one of the challenges in putting together this music is that we have individual parts playing different notes than other parts. So everyone still has their own part, but they work together to create the music that you hear. Sometimes we're playing in harmony, sometimes we're playing different rhythms, and that definitely takes a lot to get used to, especially at the beginning, and the students have been doing an amazing job with that. Our percussionists are also learning about some new percussion instruments that they didn't have the opportunity to play last year. Primarily, one of the instruments that is new this year is the timpani, and Sailor is currently at the timpani. Wave, Sailor. Sailor, do you want to play the timpani? Play the sound of each of those drums so we can hear. The timpani is a type of drum that can be tuned, so we will have 2 distinct sounds in the timpani. Go ahead, Sailor. The other one. Good. We also have some other unique percussion instruments happening. Before we begin our last piece, I would like to again tell the group of students how proud I am of their hard work this year. They've done an amazing job, and we've had a lot of fun along the way. They've got great senses of humor, and I really, truly look forward to rehearsing with them Wednesday mornings. It was really a true joy to work with them. We're going to end with a piece called Tyrannosaurus Rocks. We had a lot of fun with this one. And in Tyrannosaurus Rocks, we will also have a special guest, soloist. Mr. Prey he's going to make his appearance when it's time, playing a very unique instrument that you'll hear when the time comes. Tyrannosaurus Rocks.
Thank you.